Are you feeling burnt out or overwhelmed, or you look around and your life is really not where you want it to be? I'm gonna share a couple ideas, some tips with you that will help you out. Hey, what's up? My name is Henry. Welcome to The Wrong Mindset. So I always talk about finance, real estate, money, right? Which is all great. It's really important, but you can't lose sight of everything that's important in your life. So a lot of times people have a lot of issues in their life, I think because it's a lack of balance of everything that's important to them. So my idea is that it's really important to think about everything that is important in your life. And I think writing it down really helps you to really visualize and see everything that's important. It does something to your mind. It gets you going and thinking about ways to do some of those things. So the other thing is, once you have everything identified, you know what's currently important to you, then you have to be intentional, right? You have to go and do these things, right? Make it part of your routine, make it part of your life, and be consistent. So for me, I am really big on a couple of things, right? It's all about your wealth. It's all about your family, your health, your friends, and also having some downtime, right? Your passions, interests, that's your downtime. So for example, with wealth, right? I'm all about real estate. I'm all about getting into stocks and any opportunities that make money, right? I put a lot of time into that. And also put a lot of time into my job, right? My 9 to 5, your main income source. So you put time into each one of these things. With health, I work out every morning, right? I make time as part of my routine. First thing I wake up, I will work out. I have this Saitama challenge I got into. It's basically doing 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and it's a 10K run. I don't do that, but I bike to work every day, so that's my replacement for that. But I do that every single day. And they say you're supposed to do it 3 years. I'm just keeping it indefinitely, right? That's my way of getting in that exercise. Besides exercise, you gotta make sure your diet is right? You eat right, you try to eat as clean as you can, not going crazy, right? Everything in moderation, keep it clean, keep it balanced. The other thing is your mental health. I make sure to put in a little time in the morning. What I do is I found this app that's really nice. I want to share with you. It's called Balance, right? It is going to help you with focus, with a couple of things that are important to you, but it's basically with meditation, right? You spend 3 minutes on it every day when you first start out, and it really is amazing once you get this day started off right. The other thing is I got into this app, Elevate, right? So they're made by the same creators. So that app basically helps you sharpen your brain, right? It gets you to think about listening, reading, math, some basic things that you use every day, right? It keeps your mind sharp. So I make sure to do that. The other thing with health is skincare. So I'm big on skincare, right? If you do everything right and you don't take care of your skin and then you look like crap when you're 30, I really don't agree with that. So I make sure to fit my skincare routine in there. So that's all health. The other thing is with family. Family is really big for me. So I make sure that I spend time with my wife, right? I'm a little older, so I have kids. I make sure to spend time that I dedicate to my kids, right? I always pick them up. I do homework with them. We chat, we dedicate time to talk, and we eat dinner, bath, sleep, and then I go and pick up my wife after work. She works later. And I make sure to chat with my wife, right? You have to be intentional about that. Right? Besides that, with your extended family, with your brothers, your mother, uncles, or your in-laws, any of that, you need to make time to spend with them, right? That time that just to bond, just to keep in touch, right? That's really important to me. And then friends. Friends are really important in your life. I think that's really important to me. So what I do is I make sure that there's just random texts, random group texts, random things that we go and do or schedule time to do, maybe some dinners. There's some trips that I've been going on, some local trips, and then maybe some long distance trips. There's some things that we make time for, and it's really important to me. And the other thing is, after all of this, you do have to have your downtime, right? You have to have time where you just relax, you veg out. That's nice, but most of the time people have the problem where they only focus on vegging out, right? They only watch Netflix, they only watch YouTube, and they want to just get into some passions and interests and things that's only time, that they spend on, which I don't agree with, right? Everything that I talked about is important to me, and I dedicate time to each one of these things. So for me, this is what I do. Set timers, I set reminders, I set things up where randomly I'll keep people in mind, where if I see like an article, I'll text it out. But if it's a reminder comes up, I'll make sure to knock that out. You spend time on that one thing, is not that hard, right? I hear people say, and I read some articles, saw some videos, that there's all these theories that it's not possible to balance your life, right? So first off, I think that's just a bad mindset. When you first come off and you say it's not possible, your mind closes and you just shut yourself off from even thinking of ways to make it happen. So first off, you need to open your mind and think about ways to make it work, not that it's impossible. And the other thing is, what's impossible, right? If you're talking about all the things that I talked about, how hard is it to work out? So for me, it only takes 15 minutes, right? And I wake up in the morning, wake up a little earlier if I have to, 15 minutes. You're telling me in 24 hours in a day, you cannot set aside 15 minutes to work out and have good health and be fit and maintain yourself? The other thing is, let's just say you're talking about sending a text. Like, how long does it take to send a text and keep in touch, right? Or just to set aside a little bit of time, maybe an hour, just to make sure you dedicate time and you tell your wife, like, hey, let's chat, let's just hang out for a minute. How long does that take? Like an hour? Some of these things you might not have to do every day. You could do every day. You might spread out in a week, maybe a month. Certain things you don't have to do all the time, but as long as you're intentional, you keep it in mind and you put it into your routine, it's gonna happen. It's possible. So at the end of the day, if you're able to do just some of each, to me, you're already successful at it, right? It's already possible that you maintain all of these things in your life. It is possible and still make a whole bunch of money. That's what I'm all about. So overall, I think that having a balance is really gonna help you out mentally. You're gonna feel really good about yourself. You won't feel overwhelmed. If you do feel overwhelmed and you take a step back, like, hey, I gotta take a minute to do this other thing, right? Because I'm maybe spending a little bit too much time thinking about this one thing or doing this one thing. You need to learn to step back and, hey, you know what? Let me balance this thing out because I'm overcooking it right now. The other thing is, imagine one day you made it, you're rich, right? You made money. And now you're looking at your life and you're like, you know what? Dang, I really botched it up. I don't have a good relationship with my kids, right? I'm divorced. I'm fat, nasty. So to me, like, you really messed up. Like, some of these things, there's no coming back from. You really can't come back. Like, after you messed up your health and you're 60, I mean, I'm not sure what you can do by then. So you don't want to be that guy. You want to be conscious of these things now, that, you know what, I should have a balance. It will make me much happier. Let me spend a little bit of time on some of these other things that I know are important in my life, right? I work so hard so that I could take care of my family, but then you let your family slip. You don't spend the time you could have easily spent 30 minutes on, like every day, every other day, something to maintain that relationship, to spend time to help people grow, learn, bond, is really possible. I hope you think about it and incorporate some of these things in your life. And thanks for watching, and I'll chat with you in the next one.